is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Today we're talking about the Rolling Stones classic, Satisfaction. It's one of the all-time great riffs, super simple, and transfers really easy to lap steel. We're on lap steel and open D tuning. Right, so there's that. Now, today's lesson materials, I'm going to have a chart, I'm going to have a backing track, and I've tabbed out the riff, but the riff is, I'm going to explain it real quick. It's a very simple riff. So it's tabbed out, but fine. But all that stuff is available on Patreon. So if you like what I'm doing, you want to support it, you want it to keep going, then please join me there. I build lap steels, and I also build conversion necks for Telecasters and Stratocasters and whatever Fender bolt-on neck you have. Those are available at Reverb, link is below, or email me for a better price. I can give you a way better price when there's not the fees and all the stuff. I have t-shirts. I got the Bones guy, I got the Cat guy. They're on shirts, mugs, hats, all types of stuff. They're available, link is below. Finally, if you like what I'm doing, you don't want to subscribe, you don't want to buy a guitar, you don't want to buy shirts, you just want to leave me a tip, here's some QR codes. Leave me a tip. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so Satisfaction. Look, the riff starts, we're in the key of E. We're tuned to open D, so that means this is D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. Right? And our E chord is the second fret. If you don't know where that is, if you don't understand how we got there, if you don't understand that stuff, my beginning lessons are here. They're linked here. It's going to take you everywhere from just starting out, like where are the notes on the scale, on the neck, to, the numbers, which we're going to use today. Satisfaction is in the key of E. And so that's at the second fret. And that riff, it's really just it's a blues chord. Okay? If you ever hear that, it's that same thing. Okay? It's the 5, the 6, the flat 7, back to the 6. It doesn't matter. I can show you the notes real quick. Let me show you the notes, and then I'm going to explain where they come from. Okay? Second fret on the 5th string twice. Okay? And make sure, you really punch it. Like it's a punchy. Right? He's really hitting that nice and cool. So 2-2, 2-4-5. It's all on the 5th string. 2-2. Okay? And then I'm hitting the 5 twice. So after we go 2-2. Okay? We got that part now. 5-5-4. I'm hitting the 5 twice, sliding down to the 4. And then I'm hitting the 4 and sliding down to the 2. Okay, 5 twice, down to 4. 4 to 2. Okay? Now, that's just coming from the blues chord. It's a really cool way to do it because that's just where it comes from. And look, I have this scale. It's in the blues lessons. I'll throw it up here real quick. This is my blues, just my traditional blues scale, right? It has the notes from the 4 chord, and the notes from the 4 chord are in blue. The notes from the 5 chord are in green. The major third is in yellow, and the rest of it is just minor pentatonic. We're just playing blues here. But what we're playing is just so you know where it's coming from, right? Especially because learning the tab is great, but that just teaches you the notes. When you start seeing how these relate to the 1, right? It's a 5, 6, 7, 6 flat 7, 5, 5, flat 6, or 5, 5, 6 flat 7. Just knowing what those notes are it helps you understand where it's coming from, how it relates to our 1 chord, and that's the most important part. Now, that's the whole riff. Okay, and I have a backing track if you want to play along with it. Nice and simple. And that recurs throughout the song. Now, the only other part of the song that we got to learn is the chords. So here's a chart, and on this chart, you can see that we're in numbers. Again, if you don't understand where the numbers come from, I'm going to explain what they are in this key, but go to my beginning lessons, because all of these things, that scale that we had up here a second ago, these are all movable things. And so knowing how they are interacting with each other means you can then move them wherever you want. You're going to see this stuff in other songs and other keys, and hopefully it's more than just learning a song. It's slowly learning music, and that way it's applicable everywhere you go. Okay? So the riff, the way I've notated this, aren't you glad you're here for lessons? The way I've notated this is there's the riff part, and there's the verse A and the verse B. I originally had them written out like riff, verse, chorus, and the chorus is kind of under the riff, but there's not really a chorus. It's really more of just it's like this really cool kind of slithering song. So there's like an A part and a B part and a riff part or whatever. So I've labeled them verse A, verse B, and riff. Under the riff, it's a 1 chord, which we've just covered is E, right? We're in the key of E. E is 1. And then the 4 chord, right? Which is 5 frets up from wherever your 1 is. It's also 4 letters up, your 4 chord. Yeah, your 4 chord is the 4th letter in the scale. So in this case, we have E, F, G, A. It's always 4 letters up. Now, in the key of E, we have an F sharp and a G sharp. E, F sharp, G sharp, A. It doesn't matter. E, F, G, A. A is the 4 chord. A at the 7th fret. And just as an aside, I know that this is, I'm trying to streamline the lessons a little bit, but the talking stuff I think this is the important stuff. I saw somebody say the other day, if you don't know all the notes on your fretboard, then you're not a good guitar player. And I don't know all the frets on my fretboard, and I don't care. I work with the relationships between them. So if somebody says key of A, I know that A is the 7th fret. But when you say A and I'm in the key of E, it's hard for me to go oh yeah, A is here. But this is my 4 chord, and I know that immediately. I know the relationship of my chord to my chord, right? I know that this is 1, therefore this is 4. I know that. And because I know where my 1 and my 4 are, I know where my 5 is, that means I know where the rest of them are. I know where the flat 3 and the 3 and the 2 and the flat, because I base it off of my relationship to my 1 chord or my 4 chord or my 5 chord, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, then leave a comment and we'll do some more stuff around that. But that's the deal. So 1 chord is at the 2nd fret, 4 chord is at the 7th fret, right? And in the beginning, they're just kind of strumming. Now, the way I'm going to strum, get it a little clean. We can go try to work out the exact strumming pattern that they're using, but it does change throughout the song. Really what we're looking for is that 1 chord, and I'm going to play the bottom 5 string on my 1 chord. Okay? I'm going to mute my 1st string with my fingers. So, and this was a question I got on Patreon, I'm going to put my fingers down below my, okay, cool, I'm staying in the shot. Behind my bar. The fingers here are always down behind the bar. Muting that string. And then, on my 4 chord, I'm going to cover up just the bottom 4 strings. Okay? And it's just 1 bar of each. So, if we're here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's a bar of each. Okay? Now, the next part, and again, it's programmed in here. So the backing track comes with the lesson materials from Patreon. Sales. So the next part is it's the same thing, but now it's 2 bars of 1, and then 2 bars of 4. 1, 2, 3, that's that okay. It's just the that's the melody. And the melody, he's just outlining the chords. It's a 3, 5, 7, 5 up to 6. You know, he's kind of just playing the scale, right? 3, 5, 7 up to 6, and then 6, 1, flat 3, 1, and then kind of up to a 2 at the end. Sort of, not really. He doesn't get all the way up there, but it's cool. Anyway, whatever, scale. So that's the verse. That's the riff part and the verse A part, and then finally the verse B part. Same thing. Now I'm gonna try to add a little extra energy. This is one of the things with music, just in general. It's just like trying to add some energy. So now you can do this however you want, but the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna take the 1 chord, play all 6 strings. The 5 chord, I'm gonna play the bottom 5 strings. The 1 chord, bottom all 6, and then the 4 chord, the bottom 4. So our top note is going from the 1 up to the 2, up down to the 1, and then staying on the 1. If you don't know what that means, again, it's not a big deal, but I'm just trying to get a little bit of voice leading. I talk about all this stuff in the beginning, playlist lessons, how I approach chords, all that stuff. But check it out. Now, obviously, I could do the actual riff. This is the rhythm. Here's the riff. Okay, verse A. Verse B. Come on, here we go. Right? It only does it once, I forgot. It only does it once, so it does to the verse B1. I can't get no, right? Get no. I can't get no. Okay, and it just there's that one little cool break where it's on the 1, you don't do anything, and then you hit on the 2. Get no. If that makes sense. If we're counting and we go 1, 2, 3, I can't 1, 2. Okay, and that's in the backing track. That's the whole song. And all you have to do is hopefully listen and hear which part we're on, right? If you're developing your ear, the hardest thing is going to be determining between the part that's the riff. Wait, it's on this side. I think it's on this side. Riff and then verse A, right? Because it's the same chords, just in 2 separate sections. But it's really simple to find out where the riff is because someone's playing. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. That's the whole thing. With some theory. Oh, hope you guys are okay with some theory. Yeah. Thanks for hanging. I hope you enjoyed it.